So let's get started with tags. If you've just arrived before I said anything, also please confirm you can hear me. The microphone is lighting up. So in the chat, just let me know that everything's working as expected. That would be wonderful. And we'll get started. So I think in the email, as it said, my name is Sam, and I'll be taking you through tags today. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Alfred. Thank you, Stephen. Amazing. 3 out of 3. Okay, so let's get started. So to get to the tag editor, let's go to the main thing. I'm on my iGUIDE here, and I want to get to some tags. So on the left-hand side here, we have a bunch of different options. If you look at the iGUIDE default view tools, which would be this one, you would click into a different, if you had, for example, another view here, you would have to go into that view and then go into edit, because this will, on the left-hand side, will edit the default view, this main one on the left. So we're just going to delete that for now. So I'm going to go into the tag editor. And as you can see, I've got some prior tags here, which I'm going to delete. So it's a nice fresh start. So this is just an example here. Okay, so to place a tag on the floor plan here, you can click on the blue tag button, which says create a tag. I'm going to click here, and then you have the same as you do with your method of measurement, your measurement mode, sorry. You're going to click on the 1, and you can select 1, 2, or 3 for the type of tag placement. We'll start with number 1, which is basically, let's just go to a simple location in the iGUIDE. Let's go to the kitchen. Let's look at the sink or something on the wall. So this would be something on the wall itself. Let's just say these tiles, for example. Here's a tag. So we double click with mode 1 on the item in the actual panorama here. And that's placed a tag, as you can see here right in the middle. You can zoom to place here. You can zoom in here and double click to place. Once you've got this created, you can edit the tag. As you can see, we have new tag. We have a pencil, edit tag content. The eye, if you click on the eye, it disables the tag. You can see it's grayed out here. It's more transparent. And we can delete the tag. Well, we all know that does, so I won't click that one. So we're going to click on the pencil to edit the tag. You can edit the tag title here. We'll call this tiles. And then we can type some things in here. This tile looks great. You can bold it, you can italics it, and you can also create that into a heading. So you can do some formatting in here too. What we're going to do is also we can quote something, insert a URL or a link to somewhere. These tiles look great. Purchase them here. And you can click on the link here, and we just say Amazon. Not sponsored by Amazon, but Amazon. You can get everything there, right? So this is enter link description. What you would do here is highlight the description and say link to Amazon store, Home Depot, whatever it is. That's what's going to show up when we look at the tag. You can also include an image. So we click on here. What we'll need to have done is either enter the URL of the tag, of the image, sorry. So if you're on the store's website, for example, you can right click, copy image URL, paste it here. Or if you've included images within your gallery, you can select an image from the gallery to include here. So we're not going to insert anything right now. You can also insert a video, or you can insert a Pano link. So we can link to another, so from a tag, we can link to another Pano link. And that can even be another iGUIDE. So we put that in here, we just paste it. So there's an example. So you just paste it in here, and you can put a Pano link in, it'll take you to that Pano. We're not going to play around with that at the moment. That's a little bit more like the in-depth things that we don't particularly need to know about, but you can do it, and you can investigate and play around with things in here too. So yeah, on this page, we're kind of done. So what I'm going to do is go to options, and then you can embed a web page in here too. Now, certain web pages don't allow embedding. So if you were to paste the Home Depot website where this tile is located, there might be a good chance that Home Depot themselves do not allow their page to be embedded in other websites. It's the same for Facebook, Instagram, lots of social media sites. They do not allow embedding in their, allow you to embed their website into another website. So that will just not work. A lot of places like shops and stores you can do, but it's going to be hit or miss depending on whether they want you to be able to do it. So let's go on to the next bit. We can have a transparent or opaque center. Transparent means you can see through it a little bit more. Opaque is a solid hole in the middle. We can also change the color here. Custom colors are available. So you can choose a custom color. You can put the RGB value in if you know what it is. We're just going to go for a random one. Let's go for a nice pink, shall we? Go crazy. On the right-hand side here, you can change the whole opacity of the tag. So we can have it faded out. This is helpful for if you're trying to not cover something, but there's a good chance that people aren't going to see it then. So realistically, what I do is I would have the opacity at 100%, so it's super obvious where it is. Opaque, tag opacity 100%, and add a stem to it. So double click on the item itself. And then what you can do is you can go into minus height to bring the tag down below. So minus is, I can't remember my axis is. The minus will bring the tag down by inches or centimeters. Now you don't want to do it too far. You can play around with it and test it. This doesn't necessarily mean on the left-hand side that it's going to be an accurate representation in the iGUIDE itself. This is just like giving you an example. Plus will make the tag go above. So for this, I'm just going to leave it around about 9 centimeters, because why not? And that's all the settings in here. Then we can go to quick preview. This tile looks great. Purchase them here. A link to Amazon store. This is just a quick preview. So we'll do apply. We can see the tag has done everything I want it to do. When we hover over on it now, this is what it looks like. So that's pretty straightforward. If there's any questions around that itself, please do ask in the Q&A. And I can go into further areas in more detail later on once I've finished with all the zones and all the things you can do. I see, Bruce, you've asked a question already. Thank you very much. I'll get to that at the end. Okay, so that's mode number 1 for placing the tag. So we're going to save this down here in the bottom left corner. Now we can see that my tiles tag has been saved. Let me just hover over it here. Now, what we can do from this tag is select it. So if we click on tiles tag, you can now see, let's zoom in here. So we can use the pan and zoom function within an iGUIDE on the top left-hand corner to zoom in and pan around. But we can see here that that tag is available to this, and this panorama. Now, it's a good chance that this panorama, we go to this. Oh, we need to turn that off now. Look how you can see it, but it's kind of small. So what we can do is while we're selected on this panorama and we have the tag selected, we can double click the Pano and disable it from this panorama. So that tag won't be seen until you go to this one. Oh, there's a tag over there. Go to this one. There it is. There's the tag. So you can see which tags, which panoramas, sorry, are available for each tag. So we'll go on to mode number 2. In fact, I'll reset my view. And we'll add a new tag. So we just click off to deselect the tag, and you can see all panels will come back up now. Let's just do save again. So those changes are saved. Always remember to click save after you've done things. We're going to go to this wall here for number 2. So as you can see these pictures here, I'm going to click on the tag creator. I'm going to click on number 1. Then I'm going to click on mode number 2. If you read up here, tag placement mode 2. Click and drag on the floor plan to draw a line along any suitable wall. This will define a vertical plane, which we'll use to place the tag. Don't mind me, it's been a day. So again, we can click on the zoom function, drag that out, zoom in so that we can get this as accurate as possible, unclick the zoom function, and then on the floor plan here, I'm going to align my mouse carefully with the edge here, doing the best I can. There. I'm going to drag down that wall right there. I'm going to try and keep it as straight as possible. I'm going to release, and you can see it's created a long line all across here. When I look now in the Pano, you can see there's a line going along the wall. So as we move inside the panorama, it's showing us where on the wall it's going to be placed on the floor plan. So it's just creating an X. This is where the crossover point is. This is where the tag is going to be created. Now we can choose the vertical and horizontal position here. So we can put it right at the top, just out of the way. So double click, you can see that's right at the top there. We can click on the tag. We can edit it as previously. So I'm not going to enter anything here. So for example, hey, you could paste an image of the actual picture too. So say this was an art gallery, which I've seen done with tags. There's an art gallery and you want to give someone like a high res image of it. You can add a link, or you can put the Pano, like a link to the image itself, like the artwork or whatever in high resolution within the tag. It's a really nice one to do so that when they hover over it, they get it in nice, big, clear. They get like the price details of how much it's going to cost, if it's something that you can purchase, things like that. That's what it's super handy for. So this can be used for stores, for showrooms where people are showing off like their products, things like that. It's pretty cool. And we can go to options and we can change it to blue, opaque. We can make it white if you want. I don't know what white looks like. We'll turn the transparency up and we're going to make it go down a little bit. I'm going to go apply. Now something's happened here, which is weird. I've never seen this before. Did I do something wrong? That might be what's causing this. Opaque. Maybe it's because it's white. Maybe I shouldn't do it white. Apply. Did I add 2 tags? Let's click tick. Oh no, it's gone. I just had to approve it. Okay, let's just pretend that didn't happen, hey? You didn't see anything here. Let's just check that everything is saved. Yep. It's a horrible color. Let's put it back to white. Opacity. Increase the stem height. Apply. As you can see, the stem is subject to, you have to play around with it a little bit. You'll get used to it. So we're going to do save. And from this Pano here, we can see that there's a little tag just there on the corner. So because I was down in the corner placing it, it's a little bit off. So we can't move this at this point in time. So we don't have the ability to click and drag a tag. So we click on it. I don't believe I can drag it. No, I can't right now. So we would have to copy and recreate the tag. There's one thing. So try and get that placement right before you do any of the changes. That's probably a good tip. But as you can see, this tag is visible from all these different places, which is a little bit crazy because it's got line of sight to it according to the floor plan. But as we can see, there's a wall here, but it's really a fireplace, so it doesn't class it as a wall. What we can do again, click on the tag, click on the panel you want to disable. And if we look towards the tag, we can see it over there. It's probably no good. We're going to double click. We're going to go to this one. We're going to double click. And we're going to go to this one. That's probably okay, that one. So I'm curating, oh, and definitely this one. I'm going to see it through that one. See, just in there. No. So you disable that because it's a bit silly. And we can do save, and that's all done. So method 2 can be used another way as well. If you are outside, this is a popular one, and you have one Pano, and say you've got your sales center sign here, and you want to put a tag on this. How do I do that? Well, what you'll need to do is zoom in a bit and kind of estimate on the floor plan. So what we're going to do here is we're going to drag that down. We're going to be like, okay, so it's in line with the window, kind of. We're going to get mode 2. What we're going to do is draw a line probably more to the right of the window in between the foyer and here. So we're going to draw a line here, make it straight. When we point at this, we can see that's too far in, but this could be the placement of the panorama. So don't pay attention to the floor plan in this case. We want to look at the visual and double click on here. So model home and sales center, and we're going to edit that tag. Options, opaque, fully, choose the custom color. I'm just going to go black for that one, because why not? Apply, and then click the tick box. It's placed. Now You can't see it here. So what you want to do is you actually want to bring that line in. So we'll delete that tag. But outside, it can get a bit tricky. What you want to do is draw that line closer to you because it's using that as a depth gauge. Like how far away should the tag be? And so that's going to appear small on screen. If you want it to appear really big, what you're going to do is you're going to look at that. We're going to take 2 and draw a line diagonally across like this. So when I look at this, you see how much closer the line is now? So we're going to double click here. There it is, nice and large. So we do tick box, so it's nice and big now because it's closer to you proximity-wise on the floor plan. You can get it even bigger. You can put the line right in front of you. So we're going to do that just for an example, just so that I can teach you, guys, a little bit about the tricks. So number 2, I'm going to draw it right here. This tiny little line there, because I know that that's going to cross over there. As you can see, double click. When you first double click, it's not going to be perfect. I'm going to go in, options, tag opacity. Let's just do crazy green, opaque, apply, save. That's much bigger now. So all I've done is bring the line closer to the Pano location. So for like things that are far away or smaller. So that's the kind of same logic that it uses. Let's go on to number 3, shall we? So where are we up to? Let's do save. Always save to make sure it's done. And you can name all these. I'm just going to delete, 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 save, so that I don't get a whole bunch of tags. The mode number 3 is panorama based. So the example I use for this one is you need 2 panos to be able to see the object in question. So let's do, I always do this lampshade. So let's do this lampshade again, just for the sake of it. This lampshade here is hanging light, sorry. So I'm going to go to number 3. And it says at the top, double click in the image to begin placing the tag. So I'm going to double click on here. And then I'm going to go to another panorama, switch to another panorama with visibility of the same spot and double click the same spot. The camera height above the floor must be the same in both panoramas. So if we go to here, we can see that the camera height wasn't changed. We can zoom in and double click on the bottom of the light. The tag has been placed. So I'm going to click the tick box and there's our tag. So it's up in the ceiling there. You can see it. I'm going to zoom out on these panos. You can see it here. And then we go over here. We can also see it at the top. See, it's moved down a bit. This is just as you go through. It'll change just from different angles and stuff. So you can see, we can see it over there. What we're going to do is we can edit it. We can go to options. We can do the same again, increase the opacity, make it opaque, change the color, give it a drop down because you don't want it to be on top of the thing. Apply. And now we can see that it's pointing at the item. So this lamp you can purchase from XYZ. So that's the 3 modes. That's the different ways you can use it for inside and outside. Some other things that people I've seen use is they might have a management, they may be a building management firm and they have an iGUIDE of their building. And they're like, oh, I want to check on the stats on this thermostat. So what you do is you grab a tag. We're going to use number 1 because it's simple, because it's on the wall. We're going to double click on the thermostat. We're going to do that one. No, it's that one. So they're in order of creation. We're going to edit it. We're going to do options. We're going to bring it down below. We're going to make it fully opaque. And now, as you can see, it didn't go quite as far down as I wanted. So I'm going to go in again. Do a little bit more. And we can keep playing with that at some point, but this is fine. What we can do is put the URL in to link it to that management page. So that's something you can think about doing. A lot of it is used for products and for pointing out products, or if you've got like a luxury home or something, you can be like bathtub and then have the manual of the bathtub or the microwave or the fridge and things like that attached to a tag. So that if you do an iGuide of a home that is like a really expensive home or a really nice home that you want to show these things off, and then you want to provide that as something to the new home owners, like, hey, this has got like the links to all your appliances in the iGuide. So then they're like, oh, how do I use that washer dryer? They go to the laundry room, they look at the washer dryer, there's a tag on it with a link to the manual. I mean, that's pretty cool in my opinion. So yeah, I think that covers a lot of it. A couple of use cases there, how to place them all. We'll get on to questions now. Bruce, yeah, that's a good question. So we're going to go back to the main page here. What is the default view and secondary views? So we can customize. So for example, I could have this view with no tags on it. I'll duplicate this. And when I go and look at it, go to edit, and then I go to tag editor, you can see there's no tags on here. It's fresh. So what you can do is you can provide one with and one without tags. So you have two different links to the iGuide. So say you had friends and family. So the new client had friends and family they wanted to show it to, but they didn't want them to see all these things. They could contact their realtor and be like, hey, is there any chance you can remove these tags? And all you'll have to do is provide them with a new link by duplicating it. So let's delete this. Let's check if I do have any tags in here. Yep, see, it didn't save. Let's put one for argument's sake, because I didn't save one. So we're going to save that one. As you can see, new tag, tag editor. We have this one. So on the main one here, there's one tag. If I duplicate this, I go to edit, and then a tag editor. You can see that tag exists, but I can delete it. Delete this tag, save. So this view itself doesn't have a tag on it. There's a bunch of other things you can do with multiple views, like you can turn off floors. So if you've got an apartment building and you do one iGuide for the entire building, you can turn off panoramas and floors. So the people can only see in their apartment block, so in their unit that they're renting. So you can do the same thing. And for apartment units, you can have like the fire safety numbers, the communication numbers that they need within the iGuide. If they just bookmark it, you can provide it with a whole bunch of information. I think you can add attachments or links to attachments. So you could post PDFs or manuals to like WeTransfer or Drop. If you've got your own personal Dropbox, you'd need to share the public URL. And let me just go through something as well with images. There's one thing before I forget. Let's do hanging lights. Let's just have a look at this. And we're going to grab this image here from Wayfair. This is where I bought this lamp. Open image in new tab. And what we can see is the ending is .jpg. So we need that to be able to show it in the tag. It needs to end in the file format. It can't just be a random string of numbers because it needs to tell the viewer what type of media is being presented. So if I go back to here in this kitchen and I go number 3, double click, go to here, look up and double click. It's placed, we edit, we insert an image, we type the URL in, we do insert URL, and then insert image description here. Probably don't need anything in this because it's an image. So I'm just going to delete that. We can go to quick preview and you can see it's there. Apply. When we go to this tag now, we need to click yes. Go to the tag in the kitchen. Comes up and shows us the image. Okay. But yeah, sorry, Bruce, I went on a tangent there. You can do different tags for different views. So if you had say you had the owner of the shop and they wanted to send their clients, say they have a product that they're selling in their shop, and the client's like, hey, how does our product look? She can send them like a link to the iGUIDE with just the tag on their products, so that they can look around and see it tagged. Like, this is all your stuff, blah, 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 you know, that kind of thing. And then she might want a copy of herself where she's got all of them, and she only enables certain tags for certain views, because you can have them all in the default, and then you can disable them, not delete them, but disable them per view as well. So you could probably use the same view for multiple clients. Sorry, I just hit the microphone. So I've got another couple of questions here, and I'm talking into my hand so that you can't hear me properly. From Peter, I had tried using a tag on a window in order to show the view outside the window, rather than trying some kind of window pull. When the image, which was in the photo gallery, came up, it was small, so I assumed that I did something wrong. How should I be using a tag to show an outside view that was taken separately with my DSLR? So let's do that. Let's go to this window and pretend that we have a landscape garden. This is the view out that window. Let's pretend. So I'm going to save this image into downloads. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the iGUIDE and we're going to upload that image into my gallery. So we drag and drop. Let's get that over here. Downloads. Nice garden. Open. And that's uploading now. Done. Right at the bottom. Okay. So now let's go to the tag editor and double click on the window. So what we're going to do first is we're going to zoom out. We're going to draw number 2 along that wall. We could use number 1 as well. So let's do number 1, tag placement mode 1. I'm going to double click on the image. You can see it's quite small from this view, the tag here, from this angle. So what we can do, instead of placing the tag on the window at a far distance, we're going to delete this tag. We're going to click onto mode 2, as I mentioned before. What we're going to do is we're going to draw it right in front of us here, right in front of the panorama, still straight, so perpendicular with the wall. And what we're going to do is going to go, I want you to see this tag right in your face. Oh, it's maybe not right in your face. Let's try that again. One, two. Maybe that was a bit weird for it. Don't mind me sticking my tongue out while I'm trying to do it. So let's get the Pano straight. And then right there. So that's a bit bigger. And I think once we've saved it, it will be bigger too. So let's go to options, increase the opacity, make it opaque, apply, save it, and see it's a lot bigger now. That's much better. Once it's saved, it looks like it applies the settings correctly. The problem is, I've just realized my problem. This isn't going to work. When I go to this panel here, there's going to be one of the window here. So scratch all of that. I thought I was being so clever. You'll have to use mode 1. Double click. Change the opacity. Now, I personally think there should be a tag size increase on here. I will mention it again. So you can increase the size of the tag if it is too small. So that's a kind of tiny tag. Is it even coming up properly? No, the tag's out there. It's because it's on the window. This is something I have to look into. I see one of my colleagues in here can you message me, colleague, and remind me to bring this up? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fix this. We're going to use mode 2 because that's gone through the window out into the distance, into the nether. So we're going to use mode 2, but we're going to do it right along the wall. So we're going to zoom in here. I apologize about this. I haven't used these for a while. I refreshed this morning, but there's some scenarios that I didn't refresh myself with. Putting tags on windows is interesting. So I'm going to draw a line here, and this is going to be the boundary of the tag. So we're still going to place it here. And as you can see, that's much better. It's going to place it right there. I'm going to tick, and you can see the tag is now on the door. It's much better. We're going to edit it. I'm going to go options. I'm going to go opaque, opacity 100. I'm going to do green just because. And then we're going to do content. I'm going to click on the image. I'm going to scroll down here. And do you know why it's not here? Because I haven't refreshed this page since I uploaded the gallery. So I'm going to refresh this page, then go back to edit the tag, go to the gallery option, scroll down, and there it is. So that's got a tick in it, insert gallery image, apply, save, go back to the one we looked at, hover, and there's the image. Now, it is quite small, but you can, at this moment, I don't know if there's a way to make that image bigger. I wonder if you get closer to the tag. No, it stays the same size within the pane. So maybe what I'll also do is add a feature request to improve this, to be able to choose small, medium, or large on the image sizing. I'm trying to keep this up here today. I'll speak with my colleagues. There's a few things that could probably be improved over time. I'm not making any promises, but I can see how that would be very handy to have like a nice, decent, big version of this garden that's out there. But that's how you do it in the meantime. And you can also place a link to the image. So if you're in my iGuides and you go to the iGuide itself, you go to it and you go to photos and you scroll down, you click on it, you right click and do copy image address. I wonder whether that will turn out better. We're going to edit the tag, delete all this. I'm going to click on the image here. I'm going to put it up in here. Insert URL. Apply. Save. It's the same size. Okay. So it's just, it's restraining the size of the image displayed. I mean, that's not the greatest, but what you could also do with this is let's do it at the bottom, possibly. For a full-size image of the garden, please click here. What we're going to do, we're going to insert a link to the image. We're going to put here, and we're going to delete that, apply, save. So then when we look at the tag, you can hover over it. For a full-size image of the garden, please click here. So that's a link, and it'll take you off the iGuide to a full-size image. That's probably something that you can use for now in the interim. You can put that at the top so it's super visible, the bottom, but that's probably going to be your best option here. You don't have to host it anywhere else. You just have to get this. So you right click and you do copy image address from within the iGuide itself here. Right click, copy image address. Now, that's going to be a little bit much for one tag, but if there's only one image you want to do, it's not going to take you too long to put that in the right place. And I use mode number 2 to stop it flying through the window as far away as possible. Yeah, that's good. Okay, Peter, I hope that answered everything. If you do want to follow up with that, open a support ticket. Please let me know. And that would be great. From Stephen, are there other icon options besides the circle? Not at this point in time. We're looking to edit the tag options. There's no other options here right now. That may change in the future. How that's going to be displayed, I'm not too sure. Tags came out a while back, and I haven't seen any updates recently, but something we can certainly look into. We do have the feature suggestions forum, as I think you might know about that, Stephen. So if you want to post on there, that as an idea, we do look at that. We do pass them on to the development team, and they get discussed. So feel free to post that on there. Are there any other questions today? I think that's a pretty decent overview, and there's some deep dives there and ways to deal with tags and what to do with them. Remember, you can always do a quick preview. You can edit the content here to say whatever you like. It looks like you can't put code in here. Yeah, you can't put code in here, but what you can do is link to things. And I think that's the best option for providing a big image. We have no other questions. While I wait for you guys to type furiously, which I'm sure you're all doing, right? I'm just trying to think of any other use cases for this. So you can do exteriors. You can probably go out into the garden. I don't think this is a garden Pano. I think this is a drone Pano. Oh no. Oh, this is a Pano I was playing with. That's why it looks weird. We don't want to look at that Pano. It's strange. If you're in the garden, for example, you could use mode 2 to label plants and things like that with the tag above them. If you're a landscape, like a landscape designer or something like that. Now, I'm not sure whether tags are available with Radix, which would be cool. I think it might be. I haven't tried Radix tags. I don't have one to hand to test with either. But it should, in theory, continue to work. Yeah, Peter, we can go over that, the Google Map pin placement. We can do that a little bit towards the end because that's not related to tags. Oh, and there's another off-topic question. So I'm happy to go into a couple of off-topic questions now, and we will stop talking about tags because this is being recorded, and we'll save this and put it onto something. So at this point here, we'll just do a bit of a Q&A. There will be another Q&A next Wednesday at 2 o'clock. I'll be running that one. So if there's anything after these ones, then we can go on to that. But if there's no more questions, I'll keep an eye out for questions about tags. If anybody has one about tags, please do ask it now before I go off on a tangent, because there's 2 questions here that are not related to tags. Okie dokie. I have a question about Google Maps. Okay, so that's from Peter. Okay. I have a question about Google Maps pin placement, if you care to tackle that. Yes, we can. So if we go over here. So Peter says, I had an iGUIDE inside a gated community. On Google Maps, it shows the entire complex. For example, if the main address is 123 Street, the unit is number 10, how can I place that pin on the map? That's a good question. So here, typically auto is ticked on the right-hand side. But what we can do is untick auto, and we can actually see how the pin has changed. The hand grab has changed like a point. We can grab that pin, and we can move it around anywhere and drop it. So you're like, oh no, that's not the right location. It's actually over here. We can drop that, click save, and the pin will stay where you drop it. So you can move that onto the correct building. You can zoom in and you can place that on the correct building, whichever one you want to place it on. It'll stay there. That's no problem, Peter. No problem at all. We had one other non-related question from Rochelle. I hope I pronounced that right. This is a question off topic, but is there an option to do branded and unbranded Pano branding? So when you do an unbranded iGUIDE, so if I go to my report here, iGUIDE view report. So my report here comes with two links, the branded and unbranded. So the branded one would normally have something here, but I don't have anything attached to it. You can see it's still got the banner and everything. Do you know what? There's absolutely no way to differentiate between these two. Give me 1 second, because I've got nothing on my branded version right now. Let's delete this. Let's edit this. Let's add a banner. Where's my test banner? There we go. There's my test banner. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to my Pano branding image. We're going to randomly select an image. Let's have the Phoenix one that I was playing around with. Why not? And let's refresh this page. So as you can see, here's my branded link. So we've got the Phoenix on the bottom and we've got the banner at the top here. If we click on the icon, the avatar. So this is all the branded stuff. Unbranded, you don't have an avatar at the top, so you have no branding at all. And this is removed. All you get is this little iGUIDE logo here. So that's not classed as agent or photographer branding. This is just the product branding. That is okay. We've had this question before. I questioned it. We looked into it, and it's okay because this is our product. It's not advertisement or branding for the realtor or the photographer. This is just like the product. So that's okay. So that's what you do, Rochelle, is you provide the two different links. Let's go back to here. So when you get your report, you've got the branded and unbranded link. And realistically, the unbranded link is just your iGUIDE.com, but at the front of it, after the https:// you've got unbranded dot at the very start, unbranded dot, and that gives you the unbranded version. Now, when this is embedded, people can't see this really, and so they can't change it. But the main point is that it's embedded in the correct website without branding. So it needs to be embedded in realtor.ca or realtor.com or whatever website you use. As long as it's embedded in there, unbranded, there's no problem. If people take the URL or find the URL and go themselves and put it in and remove unbranded, well, then you're going off of the MLS. So it's not an issue. I hope that answers your question. All right, there are no more questions. It's 2:46. I think that's long enough to talk your ears off. We can call that for today. If you have any further questions about tags, please open a ticket. There is a knowledge base article regarding to tags, and I will mention the window issue and the size issue. The two things I took from today. Why is it going through windows? And can we increase the size of the tag? Oh, and can we change the tag shape, like to a square or a triangle or something like that, or maybe something else. One more coming. Bruce has got one more coming. Sure thing, Bruce. I'm just going to open my chat here so I can send myself a sorry. Right, I've got all those things noted. So anybody who asked a question where I couldn't answer, or there was an issue, or there's a feature request, I have put that forward. Markers on the floor. I've requested colored markers in the past, and you forwarded the request. Any news on this? So the Pano dots, the Pano halos to be editable. There's a lot of changes coming with the viewer in the future. And so not right now, Bruce. I believe there's going to be improvements made, as there always are with different components of an iGUIDE system. We're always trying to improve, keep up with times, make things look nicer. And so there's going to be more customization over the following years, year even. So whether that's one of the options, I will pass that on to our UI developers, Bruce, and make sure that they're aware of it. In fact, what I'll do is I will message them right now for you because I don't want to forget. Because you're not the only person who's mentioned that, and I'd love to be able to get that implemented. I'm just trying to find the right person. Bear with me, I'm going silent. Okay, sent that over, Bruce, to our UI designer as a note. So we should be good to go. Hopefully, we should be able to add more customizations for you visually and make things nicer in the future. As you probably know, things take a while to develop and implement and test and run and everything else. So we do have a growing team, and that comes with some teething problems, but we'll hopefully get there in the end and improve things for you. If there's no more questions, I guess that will do for today. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'm going to go and sleep. I'm exhausted today, so I do apologize if there was anything unclear here. But have a great day. Take care, everybody. And we'll see you on the next masterclass. And I will be here next Wednesday at 2 o'clock for a Q&A session. So if you have any other questions regarding anything else with iGUIDEs, that's where you would come to for that. Okay, thanks very much, and do take care. Bye for now.